Good morning, good morning. This is Czar. How are you, everybody? It's 2:56, almost, 2:56. We're 4 minutes away. 2:56 a.m., by the way, New York time. We're 4 minutes away from the London Open. We are back in sync in terms of daylight savings time. We had a week there this last week where we were 1 hour off the normal synchronization because the U.S. only goes to daylight savings time a week after the UK and most of Europe. So we are back. We now have that kind of a 6 hour time difference, I believe, as opposed to 7 hours, which we did for last week. Hope that makes sense. For those of you who trade the entire world, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But here we are. So again, 2:56, 2:57 a.m. New York time, bright and early. The rest of the world here is still very much asleep, except for the occasional shift worker here in North America. But I'm here, you're here, and we are going to enjoy this London Open together. Hope everybody had an amazing weekend, got a little bit of rest, and got ready for an exciting week of all kinds of activity here. We're going to get a bunch of earnings, of course, in the stock market. We're going to be focusing on the NASDAQ today for those of you who are new, and that's many of you since we've only been doing this for about 4 weeks now. We're already developing quite a following here on YouTube and on Twitter. 451 followers on Twitter in about 3.5 weeks, which is pretty amazing. Just people are starting to figure out what we're doing here and want to know more about it. And I'm flattered, I'm honored, and I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to have you here with us as well. So thank you for joining me. All right, NASDAQ, what are we doing? We have very, very simply a 10-minute chart on the left-hand side, and we have a 1-minute chart on the right-hand side, and that's it. You'll see no indicators on here, unless you want to call that 20 EMA on the right-hand side an indicator, and technically it is. You can use whatever period EMA you would like, but that's it. We're going to be looking at this screen mostly. I will also occasionally take you over to this one. This is what I call the Four Sisters. These are 4 indices. We're going to look for things like synchronicity, congruency between them, possible divergence between them, to look for clues as to what might happen next. You'll see these are very much in sync so far this morning. We haven't opened in London yet. We will in about 1.5 minutes, and you will see that happening as the volumes pick up, and you'll get a flurry of activity there on the open. It's already starting a little bit here pre-market. You'll certainly see that happen when it happens, and we'll take it from there. So this is, by the way, the NASDAQ on the far left. It's the Dow beside it, the S&P to the right of the Dow, and then on the far right is the DAX, the German index. So we got representation there from the main part of Europe, the continent, I suppose they call it, or you call it. And we will take it from there. My Telegram group is fired up and ready to go. They're all sending out some ideas on what they're thinking this morning. Welcome you to join the group. It is free. Everything we do here is free. We don't charge for anything. And we're just here to share for the love of the game. And I've been doing this for a very long time now, into my 4th decade of trading, 25 years as a technical analyst, chartered market technician, fundamental analyst before that, many years in the asset management and wealth management industry. But here to enjoy just a bit of scalping today here on the London Open. Now, I will tell you that of late we have not been taking many trades for a week or so, at least no trades on the Open itself, and that's because I look for range expansion, and these have been very range-bound opens. In other words, the first 10-minute candle, for instance, has kind of done its thing, and then everything else has been staying within that 10-minute candle or surrounding range. But I think it's important to talk about what's happening here coming into the Open, and get an idea of what's happening here. Now, I will tell you that London has already opened, but the background screen has not changed color, and that's because of what I mentioned to you. The time change here is has synchronized back to 3 a.m. So let me just get this for you right now. We'll see. There you go. You see that there? Now that the color has changed on that. And so what I'm going to do actually is go over to this side too. Do this live with you. Hope you don't mind. Just wasn't sure how that was going to pan out before it actually happened, so I wanted to make sure I got it right. So I'll just do I'm just going to copy this indicator over, paste it, and then shut it down. And you can see, there it is. London is open, folks. Now, what you'll notice is that I have naked charts. I'm going to open up this 10-minute chart and just focus on it. And we're going to draw our zones together. I've been getting a lot of questions on how do you draw your zones. We'll do that together right now. I come into the morning. This is a naked chart. This blue color back here is the Asian session. Started at about 8 o'clock last night, New York time, and then overnight, of course. And now we are at 3 a.m., 3:01 New York time. I come into the day, I see this. I see the bottom of the Asian action is in here, and I'll just take a marker here on the trading view, for instance. You can use your platform, and I'll draw a support zone in there. I'll now look right up to the very, very top, and I'll see a resistance zone up here in Asia. So I'll just draw a zone like that, right? Very, very simple. Support and resistance is something you can learn very quickly if you're new to trading. There is another one here. Right above, and this is an important one because it was right on the close of Friday's New York session. That greeny gray color there is the New York session, or was the New York session. There's another one way up here above. I'm going to nail that one right there, and that's going to come into play if prices get this high, and they may get there today. But so we're in this range now, right? And prices are just moving around doing their thing. But what if they break below this support? We need to know where they're likely to go next, and here you see it. Way down here, you see this support? That's key support. Again, rejection, rejection, rejection 3 times essentially in the New York session. Also rejected violently in the London session of Friday. See that? That wick? And that, of course, yeah, that was still London session. That was pre-New York. That was the 8:30 news that we had on Friday. Big news. And that was a massive rejection, a huge wick. And so that is very much in play here as well. I'm going to put it there. This dashed line, by the way, is a weekly low. And I won't try to, oh, maybe I'll tell you, yeah, here you go, way out here. That's a weekly low. This is each day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are all trading days. So a very key level going way back to there. All right, let's bring us back to present day and see what's going on. First candle, not doing much at this point. You see that there? That's the first 10-minute candle, still only 3.5 minutes into the London Open. And now what I would do too is here, take a look at this, the range. You see this range here? You can see that there is a bit of support happening right there. This was range bound all through Asia. And what I'm doing really is creating some structure for my brain to work with, to give me some reference, if you want, reference points to work with here as we move into the deeper part of the London session. And now we have some structure. This would be an area of clean traffic, cleanish traffic. And so what I will do is I'll put an arrow here. You'll see me, if you watch my other videos, you see these arrows all the time, and people kind of make fun of them and in a very playful way in our Telegram group. We have an amazing group, by the way, just have a terrific vibe. Sharing ideas, but also playing with each other and about our silly things, with the silly things that we do. And in my case, it's arrows. You can almost draw on your monitors with crayons and replicate what I do here. But after doing this for a long time, I simplify things. You know, I want to be able to explain this to a 6-year-old. And I can, and I've done it before, by the way, and they get it. If a 6-year-old can understand it, I know you can, and you can replicate this very, very easily without complicating things at all. All right, now we're going to watch what happens here. I'm going to bring you back to the 1-minute chart as well. So we have both of them. And the reason we have the 10-minute on the left and the 1-minute on the right, I'm looking for 10-minute reasons to enter a trade, and then the 1-minute chart to justify or to refine those entries, right? Very, very simple. I'm going to flip you back now to the sisters grid, and we'll see what these markets are doing relative to each other. And they're doing pretty much the same thing. The difference is the DAX is now trading below the 20 EMA, where the others are basically trading above. The Dow is struggling a little bit to stay above. NASDAQ leading the way. To the upside, that is, of course, right? And now all of them are above the 20 EMA and above their opens. That open being that that blue line that you see over here. Now these session indicators all need to be changed. I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to delete that one, and I'm going to delete that one. Why? Because this one is now the right settings, right? Remember we changed the settings there? So we'll do this together, and I apologize that we're having to do this here on the stream. Just want to see that now. You can see that the background colors have changed. So for those of you just wondering how to do this, this is how to do it. And then we clear these charts up, and now we're in sync for the rest of this for another year, until that daylight savings time changes again and messes everybody up for a week. Okay. All right, everybody can see that now. Moving in the same direction, doing the same thing, very much in sync. I'm going to bring you back to the main screen and the main stream. This is actually not a live stream. It is a recorded real-time session. And that's because we decided last week, and we voted on it in the group, to do away with the live streams for now, because we really weren't getting a lot of live viewers, because it's, I don't know, early for people or whatever. And so what we voted on and decided to do is for me to send my ideas in advance all throughout the day. That's to the London session and the New York session, to the Telegram group, so they can act upon things in their own portfolios and according to their own models, of course. This is not a signal service in the Telegram group. And people seem to like that idea. And then record all my trades from beginning to end, and then post them on YouTube. And that way people can learn on their own schedule, whether that be in the evening or early mornings or on the weekend. They can learn from what I was thinking as I entered the trades, managed the trades, and exited the trades. And I think that's a very good compromise amongst these things. So I no longer advertise that I'm doing live streams, even though I will sometimes do pop-up live streams. I believe I did one on Friday, can't remember if I remember that correctly. All right. Just quickly typing to my Telegram group, making sure everybody's doing well. That's Telegram, folks. By the way, that's Zerillion Trading at Telegram. Free to join. We don't charge anything, like I mentioned earlier. And you can come and join the fun, sharing ideas, sharing charts, and learning from each other. I'm learning from people too, even after all these years. We have some very experienced veteran traders in that group, along with myself, who's, old. And we have some other folks that are probably around as old as I am and have been doing this for a long time. And I'm just thrilled to have such high quality, high caliber traders, but also high caliber people who are new traders, just rookie traders, but just amazing people learning and sharing as well. And I learn from everybody. I learn from young and old. All right, still watching this, uneventful for now. All right, the candle's closed now. First candle's closed. This is now my opening range, this first 10-minute candle. I'm going to ask you to think about that. Whoops, that's the wrong marker. I'm not taking a trade yet. Not even close, actually. My opening range now becomes this first 10-minute candle. You see that there? And if prices stay within that, I have no interest in taking anything whatsoever. Even if it breaks out, I might not have any interest in taking a trade. We'll have to see here. I don't trade for action anymore. It is my greatest temptation, I will tell you, is to trade for action. I'm pretty good at not doing it. I did do it. I think it was on Thursday or Friday of last week. I just finished sending my group my top 10 rules, and that my greatest temptation is to trade for thrills. I then took a trade, impulse trade based out of boredom. I was very tired on Friday after a very long week. Took a trade and lost, but I recorded it. It was recorded on YouTube and posted, and then I posted to Twitter so they could all see what an idiot I was, how silly I was, and that I just posted to my group that my greatest temptation is thrill trading. And 10 minutes later, I took one and lost, and I posted that on Twitter so everybody could see. And I basically said, come and watch me lose money on Telegram. I want people to know when I lose, and I want people to see how I lose, but I also want our traders and our members to see how I manage it psychologically and mentally, because that is the entire game of trading. Once you have your method, and you need to have a method, that's table stakes. It's like coming to a tennis match. You need to have a tennis racket and a ball. So we don't even need to talk about that. Of course, that's the most important thing. But once you have that, it becomes completely unimportant. And now the mental game is everything. And I encourage you to go to the psychology playlist on my YouTube channel and watch those videos, The Prince and the Magician, and the Trader's Triad of Death, and Human Nature and Trading. These are all separate videos that will help you understand a little bit about trading psychology, and we're going to be doing a lot more content on that, because that is the real game of trading. The game you play inside your mind. All right, I'm still very much watching this. Not taking a trade here yet. Yeah, for me, it doesn't look like I'm going to be trading here in the open, because we're moving back into this rangy area here, if anything. Now, as things round over and form a resistance here, potentially, and start to drive down, that's a different ball game. I may consider taking a short back into here, and certainly if we get down into this zone, looking for short opportunities down here. So on that note, guys, I'm going to leave it there. This was a good lesson in how to draw zones with a naked chart, and to understand a little bit about how I think in terms of open ranges. And you'll see me talk about this in other videos as well. We are breaking out now, but that's not to me a buy signal. This just shows me that we're moving back into this rangy material over here to the left. And that for me is not a structure of an optimal trade setup yet. I'll be always watching this 1 minute chart for resourceful entries as well. Nothing much happening on the sisters. You can see they're very much in sync. This one's just kind of zoomed in, so it looks a bit different, but there you go. On that, guys, I'm going to leave this for now, but I'll come back later if we get any trades here this morning, and I'm sure we will. And we'll post those, and we can learn from beginning to end how those trades work, how they start, how they're managed, and how they exit. Thanks for joining us. I hope to see you in the New York Open and or other trades throughout the day. Cerulean Trading at Telegram if you want to join our group and find out what we're doing all throughout the day. And we will talk to you soon. Have an amazing day and an amazing week if we don't chat. Take care now. Bye-bye.